Okay, let's talk. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome! I'm so happy that you found me and that you found this video and that you decided to watch it. I am Veronika, or Veronika mit K, which is Veronika with a K in German, and I'm originally from Germany, but I'm a part-time reseller here in the US, currently living in Virginia, and on this channel I document my reseller journey as a part-time reseller, and I share thrift hauls and unboxings and thrift with me's and occasionally some challenges and collab videos, some unboxings, and also what sold videos. And recently I started a whole series on this channel called Going Full Time ? And this video today is kind of an update video on that series, on my thought process, where I'm at with this whole decision of whether or not I should be going full-time with reselling. If you haven't watched the introductory video to the whole series, I highly recommend that you watch that first. I will link it up here. It is basically a 20-minute video of me introducing the series, plans for the series, and talking about my own personal motivations for going full-time, potentially, with reselling, but also some of the struggles that I'm facing and considerations that I have. And over the last 2 or so months, I've had a lot of great conversations with fellow full-time resellers on my channel, and I documented all of them in a whole interview series, and I will link the entire playlist in the description down below so you can check out all those videos. I also documented part of my own process in vlog-style videos where I share some of the tasks, some of my concerns, some life updates on my whole situation as well. And I wanted to just have one sit-down video and give you guys a proper update on my current situation, because people have asked me, are you full-time yet? Are you still going full-time? What about the question mark in the room? So let's address it. So I'll give you a very brief recap of that previous video, but I still think you should check it out just to understand, what my motivation is and where I'm coming from. But I've been part-time reselling since the end of 2019, and it started out as a hobby, and then it quickly became a side hustle / part-time job. And over the past year or so, I have contemplated whether or not I do want to go full-time with reselling at some point in time. I've never been on a specific timeline for that. There was never a goal to be full-time by the end of the year or anything like that, but I've thought about it. I have been part-time for a while, but for my full-time job, I'm actually a college lecturer. I teach German, or I should say I taught German at a local college, and I've been doing that for quite some time. So the place where I've been most recently, I've been there for 6 years, and previously, prior to that, I've had different teaching positions at different colleges. I taught all throughout grad school, and I'm an educator at heart, and I am really passionate about educating students about German language and culture and history and literature and all the things. And I have loved so many aspects of this job. It's really become apparent that it is my calling, if you will. However, it's been increasingly hard for me to do this job, given that the administration at my previous university has made some decisions that basically put my position at risk of being eliminated. And the frustrating part for the last 8 or 9 months has been that I've kind of been in limbo. I didn't know if I would keep my job or not. I didn't know if my contract would get renewed. And so that has been really, really stressful and frustrating, on top of, teaching through a pandemic and being a mom of a small child and having all kinds of things to consider. So there has been a lot going on in my life in this past year, and in everybody's life, really. But a lot for me personally that made me consider going full-time with reselling as one possible avenue for me. So the fact that I have been facing, potentially losing my job for the past 8 or 9 months or so, even longer, really, that has definitely motivated my thought process and has definitely changed my outlook on things and has made me consider reselling full-time. On the flip side, I've also been really, really, really tired of working in academia. There's a lot that I'm really passionate about and a lot that I love about the job. I love the interaction with the students. I love teaching, or a lot of aspects of teaching. I absolutely adore my colleagues that I've had for the past 6 years. And there's a lot that I'm just really passionate about and that is just near and dear to my heart. But there's so many aspects of this job that have been very soul-sucking and exhausting and frustrating and time-consuming. And I am a mom of a young child, and this past year, just working from home most of the time and having him around while I'm working has made it really clear to me that he picks up on the things he sees. He picks up on the fact that his mom is working all the time, and he verbalizes that and he points it out and he tells me that he's sad about it. And he picks up on things, and it's really frustrating to me because in my previous job, I would work 60, 70-hour weeks, really. I never really timed myself, but if you're working as a teacher or you're working in academia, you're never done. There's always a deadline hanging over your head. There's always a class to prepare. There's always grading to do. There's always another email that you have to respond to. And on top of that, on top of all your teaching responsibilities, there are committees, there are other responsibilities that you have outside of the classroom. And a lot of these responsibilities I've really enjoyed. I really enjoyed working with students on extracurriculars and, things like studying abroad and having a language house to go to and organizing events for that. I've always been really, really passionate about those aspects of my job. So I think it's really for those reasons that I've stayed for as long as I have, and also because I am the main breadwinner for my family and I have good health insurance through my job, and I have a small kid with lots of medical issues and concerns that we need to have covered. So for all those reasons, I had never really thought about, going out on my own and becoming a full-time reseller. And it's also because of those reasons that this has not been an easy decision for me or an easy thought process. And those are some considerations that I've had along the way about going full-time with reselling. So the fact that I wouldn't have health insurance and I would have to pay for health insurance myself for 2 adults and a small child, that is very stressful. Also, the fact that we don't have that much money saved up to get us through the next 6 months or so, just in case the reselling doesn't take off the way I would want it to. That was another consideration as well. I think one thing that's become very clear to me from conversations with my fellow resellers in those interviews that several of them pointed out is that you want to have your financials together before you make that decision, and you want to have savings because you're making a big transition. And not having a regular paycheck can be really stressful in the beginning, especially. And so you want to make sure that you and your family are covered. And that has been another stressor for me, or another factor that I really had to consider, because I'm not financially ready to go full-time with reselling. I made that very clear in my intro video, and that is one of the biggest concerns for me, especially since I'm responsible for a small child, financially and otherwise. So I also had the thought of, if I really go full-time with reselling right now, and if I put 40 hours or so into this business, which I feel like in the beginning you have to, maybe down the line you end up working 20 hours and making a full-time income because your entire process is streamlined in some fashion. But just building the business from part-time to full-time takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. And for the last few months, as I was kind of starting to explore that a little bit more, I noticed that it had become a little less fun. I was still enjoying it, but just having the pressure of this potentially being my full-time job in the back of my head made it a little less fun. And I'm going to be brutally honest about that, because when you're reselling part-time and it's kind of like you're spending money, you have that excitement of finding a great piece, making a great sale, but your bills are still primarily paid by your full-time job or your partner's full-time job. It's a whole different ball game when you actually have to cover all of your costs with your reselling money. So long story short, I was not really in the perfect place to go full-time. And a lot of people aren't, and they still make it work. And I hope to have some conversations with resellers in the future who went full-time but maybe weren't completely ready to make that transition yet. I almost forgot. I didn't give a shout out to my thrifted item that I'm wearing. So this is actually going to be available in my Poshmark closet and eBay and Mercari stores. It's a little hard to see. Let's see. It's a shirt that you will see in Sunday's haul because I picked it up from the bins. It's just Forever 21 plus. I think it's a 3X, so it's like oversized on me. But it's going to be available for sale in my stores and closet, and I think I'm going to model it with the Y2K jeans that I recently shared in a haul. I feel like that's a good combination. Maybe that's just in my head, but we're going to figure it out. And I don't think I'll have modeled pictures of these two items by the time this video goes up, but if I do, I will insert them here. If not, look for them in my closet, I guess. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, I just wanted to jump back on and say that. Back to the regular scheduled content. Now, of course, there are also reasons why I considered it. One being that I was really tired of my job and really tired of academia, and I really wanted to get out. And I was fascinated by having the freedom of reselling and just being my own boss, which is scary as well, but it's also fascinating and it's also intriguing. Again, not sure I'm 100% ready for that. I also figured, okay, well, once you have your business built to where you want it to be and you can streamline all your processes, you should have more time. You should have more time for family and to do fun things. And, you know, you have a lot more flexibility. Yes, I've talked to a lot of resellers who have some sort of schedule in place, but really the common theme is that you have flexibility. If you want to be listing at 3 in the morning, you can do that. And if you want to list at 3 in the afternoon, you can do that as well. You can go thrifting whenever. As long as you can fit it in, you know, your schedule that's based on your family members and kids and such. But it is possible. I also really love the thought of being independent and not answering to anyone else. But again, that also comes with some concerns, and it's a little bit scary, I'm not gonna lie. The other reason, I already mentioned that, the fact that I have been really, really burned out with my full-time job. And one thing that I knew going into this and applying to jobs still was that I did not want to work in the same capacity anymore that I have been working in. So I wanted to get out of academia. I've been wanting to get out for a while, actually. So the fact that it all was brought about in the way that it has been was not ideal, but ultimately I think the administration of my past university has done me a favor by not treating me with the respect I deserve and the gratitude I deserve for all the work I've done, and by essentially letting me know that I'm not valued and that my program is not valued enough to make saving my position a priority. Part of the whole issue is that I'm in foreign languages, and foreign languages are not prioritized very much in colleges, in schools, and it's very frustrating. It makes me very sad, and it's a whole different soapbox that we can chat about, and that's really frustrating. It's frustrating for me, it's frustrating for my colleagues, it's extremely frustrating for the students, because the students appreciate the work we do. And that was one thing that came out of all of this mess, really, out of all of the pain and suffering I've been through over the past few months. One thing that it has showed me is my students really appreciate me, and I've made a huge impact on so many lives. And that, you know, if nothing else, leaves me with a very warm and fuzzy feeling inside, which doesn't pay the bills, but it's still good to know that I've made that kind of impact on so many young people. And I've been so blessed to really get to meet such bright, intelligent, amazing students over the past few years. I will forever be grateful for that. Let's just say that. So, with all that being said, I was still applying for jobs, and I mentioned that in my introductory video that, again, the decision was not completely made whether or not I'm going full-time, hence the question mark in all of my thumbnails, and every time I would talk about the series, I made it very clear it's going full-time, question mark. So I have been applying for jobs, and I have been applying for jobs that address the aspects of my previous job that I really enjoyed and really liked, which is working with students, and especially working on giving students the opportunity to study abroad in Germany or in any other German-speaking country. That's something that I've been passionate about for a long, long time, And yeah, so I've been applying for jobs like that. And in my last vlog, which was a while ago, I actually shared that I was interviewing for a job, and I had some thoughts about that. And so the big news at this point in time is that I did accept that job offer from the job I interviewed for. I talk a little bit more about that in the vlog. I will link it up here. And I will be starting to work for them as of, August 1st. So I'm really excited. It's in many ways exactly the kind of job that I want. There are some changes that will affect my family, so I'll be working remotely for a while, but at the end of the year / early next year, we will have to relocate for me to actually be able to go into the office and be on site. So we're relocating, which is a little sad because we really like where we are right now, and we have lots of friends here, and our son has lots of friends here, so there are a lot of changes coming up for us that are exciting but also scary and a little bit stressful. So if you don't see me on YouTube as much as you have been for the past few months, then that is why. I still want to put out weekly videos, hopefully at least 2, and I also want to continue this series. And that's the other update that I have for you. Just because I'm not going full-time with reselling right now at this moment doesn't mean I will not go full-time at some point in the future. And if nothing else, this series has taught me so much from so many different people, and it has sparked so many great conversations in the comments, in my DMs, and on this channel itself. And I want to keep that going for a little bit longer. It may not be as regular as it has been. There may not be an interview every week because, let's be honest, the interviews take up a lot of time. They're amazing, but they take up a lot of time. And I don't know how much of that I'm going to have going forward. But I do want to film a few more interviews. I have a few more people in mind that I want to sit down and talk to about going full-time. And just because my personal journey is changing as of right now, at the end of July 2021, that doesn't mean that this cannot still be beneficial for you guys. If you're out there and you're watching and you have been following the series and you have been watching the videos, I really truly hope that you've been getting something out of it. So I'm not just doing this for my own benefit, obviously. I'm doing this so that you guys have a resource and have some different perspectives and opinions, and also to have some conversations about aspects of this whole going full-time conversation that are maybe not talked about a whole lot. That was really one of my goals. I wanted to document the process, however long it might take. So I'm not saying I will never go full-time with reselling. I still might in the future. I would still like to explore that as an option for me. But as of right now, I really am in a position where I do need a steady paycheck. I do need health insurance for my kid. He's going through quite a bit right now that we're figuring out, that we need to get checked out. And I don't really want to go into it too much, but there's a lot that kids need in terms of health insurance, even if they're perfectly healthy. And if they have additional health issues that need addressing, then you really want to make sure that you have good health insurance to cover them. So really, my child is always my priority, his well-being, the fact that he needs to be covered and he needs to come first. And I really do think with this new job, which is very much a 9-to-5, I am hoping that I will have more time for him. I will still have time for reselling. There may be some adjustments in the next few weeks as I'm starting this new position and, getting my footing. And it is going to be a big change for me coming out of academia, because academia is so life-consuming that you don't really have time for much else. So I'm really excited to see what my work-life balance is going to look like. I have a feeling I'm still gonna work a lot, but I'm ready to explore having a little bit more time on my hands to do things outside of my job and outside of reselling, spending more time with my kiddo, and just making this transition out of academia into a job that I'm really excited about. So the job itself, I don't want to say too much about it, but I will be working with students still, with study abroad programs, and I will be working for a nonprofit, which is also very, very exciting for me. So I'm very happy about it. I'm very excited. I'm ready for a new start, and I feel like every time I talk about getting out of academia and accepting this new job, my face just lights up, and I've been really happy. So I hope that you guys will be happy for me. I hope that you're not disappointed that I am not coming on here and saying, oh, hey, August 1st, I'm a full-time reseller now. It's just, it doesn't always work out that way, but I still do think that this whole series has been beneficial and will continue to be beneficial and provide lots of good info, lots of good resources, and so many amazing perspectives from other resellers as well as myself that I think you can still get a lot out of it. And like I said, there will be more interviews. I hope there will be more vlogs as well. Maybe it's just going to shift a little bit to, okay, I'm back to being part-time. How am I managing my new job, etc. So maybe the vlogs are not necessarily going to be part of the series anymore. But I do think there can be more content that I can give you guys and provide you guys, even if my own personal situation has changed. Again, going full-time is such an individual process, and everybody's situation is so different. And I know that sounds like a tired phrase, but it is so true. We all have different abilities, we all have different options available to us, and there is no one size fits all with reselling. There are so many different ways to make it your own thing, and whether that's full-time or part-time or somewhere in between, however you want to define full and part-time, that is totally up to you. And I think that's the beauty of this, and I don't ever want to lose the joy that reselling is and brings me, and the freedom and opportunity it has provided me. And also, I'm just so grateful to be part of this community, the reselling community, but especially the reselling YouTube community, because I've made some amazing friends, and I'm actually excited to meet some of them once we move to our new location, because we're moving into an area where there are a lot of resellers. Go figure. So I'm really excited. I think it'll make for some great new YouTube content for me as well. I get to meet people. I get to actually have real life collaborations with them, and I get to thrift in new places. And based on what my friends have told me, the area that we're moving to, there are lots of good opportunities for thrifting and sourcing. So I'm really excited to explore all that. So that is going to be something to look forward to as well. I'll share more about where we're moving, etc. in the future. I'm sure it'll come up at some point, but as of right now, I'm still in Virginia for another few months and working out of my little posh room / home office. I will have my day job, and then reselling will literally be my night job, I guess. So yeah, I really hope that you will stick around. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed all the other videos in the series, I do hope that you will subscribe, or if you're already subscribed, that you will stay subscribed. Please do check that the subscribe button is gray. If it's red, you're not subscribed, and you should be, because I love having you here and I love bringing you all this content. So also, give me a like if you enjoyed this video. If you're disappointed that I'm not full-time yet, then feel free to hit the dislike button. That's totally up to you. But I do hope, like I said, that this whole series and this whole conversation is helpful, regardless of what's going on with me and my personal life choices. Okay, I hope I'll see you again for another video. This video is going up on a Friday, and I think I have a collab video coming up this Sunday, which is going to be a small part vlog and a large part haul. So if you like bins hauls, please do subscribe and come back to check on that video. And then I promise next week you will get a new What Sold video. I know I haven't put these out there in a while. There were reasons that I will talk about, but there will be another What Sold. I promise. Okay, have a good one, you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. And thank you for being so supportive through really so many aspects of this journey. I really appreciate you, and I love chatting in the comments with you. So do leave me a comment down below and say hi, and I will see you soon. Cheers!